everybody, welcome to another SoTellUs Time with Troy and Trevor Howard. Today we're going to be discussing the black hole that is social media. Social media is a very hot topic. It's at the top of every business owner's minds. Should we do it? Should we not? Is it right for my business? Which platform should I focus on? And there's tons of them. The thing is, there's tons of platforms out there. There's Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube. There's a bunch more than that aren't even popular yet. So which one should we be doing? That's always a big question. The tough thing about social media is it works for some businesses and it works really well for some businesses. Then other companies, they just flop and they have a hard time on social media because a lot of people look at social media and it's all about the likes and the shares and popularity. And is that going to make you any money? That's the big question. The most important question is it going to make you any money? So today what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So we're going to give you 3 examples. We'll probably go over some of the other ones as well down the road, but a couple we found have been really good for businesses and then also not good for businesses. So a list, let me give you real quick a list of businesses that we have seen do really, really well. And by the way, Troy is on the phone today again, guys, in his secret location. Go ahead and say hi, Troy.
Hey, everybody.
All right. So I'm going to give you a quick list of businesses that do really well on social media. Now that this doesn't, if you don't hear your company on there, right, or your industry, don't freak out because we're going to actually be talking about other industries and how they can work on social media. But what we've seen do really well is realtors do really well, fitness does really well, informational products, consumer products, motivational, and influencers. They all do really well on social media. And you might think, well, I'm none of those. Now, we have a big realtor following and a big fitness following, so there's probably a lot of you on there as well. We have some consumer products and informational products, and then we do have influencers and motivational people as well. But a big majority of our listeners and followers are service industry. So that is where we want to focus a lot of our time, energy, and efforts today. Again, if you're one of these other ones, realtors, fitness, all this is going to apply to you. So stay tuned in. But let's jump right into Facebook. Troy, why don't you take on Facebook?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Facebook is one of the more mature platforms out there among the social media platforms for business. It's been around, the longest, and it tends to have the users of Facebook tend to be a little bit older, a little more mature, and then a lot of them tend to, have their own businesses. They're farther down, the road of their life. So it's a good place to get to that type of people, which is great. So it is a really good platform. It's not going to be a lot of the younger kids.
Yeah, and if you think about that, it's been around a long time. It's been around, one of the longest. And people were on Google, right, utilizing Google ads and things like that to try to get their business out there. And they were looking for another solution. So when Facebook came out and started promoting for business and taking the same steps that Google did for ads and things like that, Facebook became a really good resource for business owners, and that's one of the reasons that it's, at the top of the list.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the great things about Facebook is that, yes, you can create a following on Facebook. You can have a bunch of followers on Facebook and people liking what you post and things like that. But you don't have to have that. You don't have to build up a huge following in order to get business off of Facebook. Because you literally, one of the very first things you can do after you set up your business page is you can start running Facebook ads. So even though you don't have any followers, you can run ads to get in front of people. The other great thing about Facebook is they know a ton of information about their users. So that gives you the ability when it comes to running Facebook ads to really kind of, dive deep into what type of user are you looking for? Basically, what demographic, what geographic area, what age group, all these different things that you can kind of pick and choose in order to find the people that you want your ads to run in front of. So it is a great way to get in front of, billions of people without having to build a following first.
Exactly. And we talked about this before, Troy, really quick. They know everything about us. We don't realize how much they really do know about us, but like they have a category for the realtors, people who are likely to move in the next 3 to 6 months. They actually track and have a group of people that they say these people are most likely, based on their searches and their likes and what they've been doing online, they are most likely to move in the next 3 to 6 months.
Yep, exactly. So that's one of the great things about Facebook. The other thing that you can do is you can join communities or groups that are out there. And this is one of the tricks that really applies to like maybe our service industry guys and girls out there. Because like, for example, where I live, there is a group that someone set up, and it's basically, kind of like a Craigslist, but on Facebook for our, community, our area, where people can go there, they can post, things that they're selling, or they can post things that they want to buy and see if somebody out in the community has it for sale. So they sell, think about Craigslist. They sell cars, they sell vacuums, they sell whatever on there, right? But also, there's some businesses on there, service industry, carpet cleaners, residential cleaners, that they will then also post ads for their services right there in that community group. Absolutely. And I was talking to one of our carpet cleaners, and he does this, probably every week or every other week he posts an ad in there. And he says, every single time I post, I get jobs. It's just automatic, because there's enough people in this group that someone's going to, pick up my special, give me a call, and I can get jobs that way. So by looking for these communities or these groups that make sense for your services, and by joining those groups, and then putting it out there, putting your services out there to people can help drive business in. And again, it's not about having following. You don't have to have followers. You just have to join the group and engage in the group. Right. So that's another way to generate business out of Facebook.
Yeah. So for instance, real quick, my neighborhood has its own group, and just within my neighborhood, I know that my pool guy has been able to do 3 additional pools just from my pool and me posting about it and people asking, hey, who did your pool within my neighborhood? And then that same pool company, they also do landscaping. And I know for a fact they've done like 4 yards because of people asking within the group, hey, does anybody have a great landscaper? Or, hey, we saw that you were getting your landscaping done. They were communicating through the Facebook group. And so they've been able to get multiple jobs. Same thing with my pool cleaning company. It's a great resource to get in front of business.
That's actually a really good point too, because some of those groups you may not be able to join because you're not a part of that community. So how do you get into that group? Well, you don't get into it, but what you do is you incentivize your clients that are already in that group to promote you, right? Yep. So, for example, like with Trevor and the pool being built, right? He goes on there and goes, oh my gosh, we just had our pool built. It looks absolutely amazing. We love our pool builder. Yes. If anyone needs his info, contact him.
And I was able to share photos of my pool and video, and everybody was like, wow, that's so awesome, So. Yep,
exactly. So that's a great way to do it. And the third thing you can do is, you can actually create a community of your own. Mm-hmm. So depending on what your business is, there might be people that are very interested in what you do, right? Or aspects of your business, and you can create your own community, and then you can grow your business through your own community. For example, one of our carpet cleaners, Roger Lloyd, he has a huge community for carpet cleaners, right? That is all for carpet cleaners, where they can communicate back and forth, and they can talk about what they're doing, what's working, what's not, working. And he has, I think, over 5,000 carpet cleaners in this Facebook group, this Facebook community that he created, right?
And that's a great point, Troy, because think about when he started that, he probably didn't think, I'm going to have 5,000 carpet cleaners all communicating and talking in this group. He probably was just like, man, I would love to get a few people in this group and start, communicating and helping each other out and doing all this. And now he's grown this thing to over 5,000 people.
Exactly. So you can create that, your community, right? And then you control that. So that's another great way to do it. And maybe you're, again, if you're looking in your area and there isn't one of those Craigslist-like communities, then why don't you create it?
Yep.
You go create it, promote it out to the people around that neighborhood, and say, hey, here's a place that you can do this, and then you're in charge of that community.
Yeah. And one thing that people need to realize is they think that that they just, I'll build this page. I have a Facebook page for my business, and that's what they do. But you can have multiple pages, and it's so easy to set up lots of pages and do different things for these different pages. And for like instance, we have a page for WebForce Pro, On Top Local, SoTellUs. I have a page for my show TWT. We have a SoTellUs group. We have so many different pages and groups that we've created, and all of them have thousands of followers.
Yeah, exactly.
Super simple.
All right. So those are just a couple of tips and tricks when it comes to Facebook that you can utilize, that platform to get more business. The next one we're going to talk about is Instagram. And Instagram is really kind of working on becoming more business focused.
Yeah.
Initially it was not, but when Facebook bought it for $1 billion, of course their mindset was, hey, how are we going to make money off of this?
Yes.
Right? We just spent $1 billion, so how are we going to make money? Which pushed it towards being business focused. Now, one thing you have to realize about Instagram is that it is very image and video based content. So it is very heavy on the content side. You're not going to come onto Instagram and just, start promoting your business. You're going to have to build content, and you're going to have to start building followers so that they see your content. So, it is different than Facebook. Now,
and they're changing real quick too. They're changing their algorithm all the time because they're trying to figure it out, right? Facebook is trying to figure out, how do we make this profitable for us? And so they're changing their algorithm all the time, and you have to stay up on Instagram way more than you do on Facebook, by the way, to know, it was images with text on it. Now they don't like images with text on it. Now they want videos. Now they want plain images. Oh, now they want likes. No, they don't want likes anymore. They want engagement. They want shares. They want saves. There's a lot to Instagram.
Exactly. So I would say that it's probably more intense.
Yeah.
And you have to really pay attention to it more than even Facebook right now.
Yep.
But there are ways to do it. So, for example, you can run ads on Instagram. In fact, if you have Facebook ads running, you can control your Instagram ads right through your Facebook ads platform. So you can run those ads, those sponsored ads that will go in people's feeds. And again, you can utilize their targeting systems to try and get to the right people. So that's one of the fastest ways to try to start making, money or bringing in leads through Instagram is through their ad system.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do is you can do either paid promotion with people who already have audiences, which they call influencers. So basically, if you look for an influencer that has your type of followers, the followers that you want, the people that are going to listen to them are your type of customers, right? So what you can do is you can reach out to those influencers. You can offer them money to basically do a paid promotion of your product or service. And that's another way to do it. Or as you get bigger and you get more followers and things like that, then you can actually do cross promotion with them where you're promoting them, they're promoting you to, get your products in front of all of your followers combined.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another way to do it. But again, paid promotion can be pretty expensive. So a lot of these influencers want to make a lot for promoting anything to their platform. And cross promoting is going to take a fair amount of time because you have to build up your followers as well in order for a cross promotion to happen. Now, the third thing is, and this is kind of a little hack, if you will, but what you can do is you can go find those influencers that have your target audience. Then you can actually see who is following those influencers. Yeah. And then you can actually go and follow those people. So you're not only following the influencer, but then you're actually looking at their list of 1,000 followers or 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is. And you're actually going through and clicking and following those people. Now you may say oh my gosh, that sounds like a ton of work. And it is work, right? It's a hack. It's a way to get in and communicate with people, by doing work in order to make it happen. But I'll give you a quick little story of how that can be effective. So for example, I've been looking to do a wrap on one of my vehicles. And so I was actually looking at a company out in Las Vegas that does it. And they were a pretty big company, do some really, really nice high-end vehicles. And so I thought, well, I'm going to just follow them on Instagram, and that way I can kind of take a look at their work and see, what they're up to. So I started following with them. Within a couple of days, someone sends me a message that they want to follow me on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Who is this? So, of course, I don't know who they are. So I click on it to see who they are. And I see that they do vehicle wraps in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's interesting. So ends up, as I said, yeah, sure, they can follow me. And you know what? In fact, I'm going to follow them because I want to see a little bit more about what they do. Well, as I followed them over the last couple of weeks, what I've come to realize is this person, this business, used to work for the first vehicle wrap company that I was looking at. They were one of their employees. They left that business to start their own business doing vehicle wraps. So what are they doing? They're going to all of the followers of their previous business. They're trying to connect with them through Instagram and get them over looking at their work. And what they're pitching is like, look, I used to do the work for this amazing company. I now have my own company, and you will get the exact same work for a lot less cost.
Yeah,
right?
That's awesome.
Really,
that's
really
awesome.
Smart. Yeah, super smart hack. Because now I'm going, well, why do I want to go pay $2,000-3,000 to that company when I can pay this guy $1,500?
Yeah,
and 2 weeks ago, he would have been the one doing the work on my car anyway.
Right, and I want to just stop you right there and have everybody think about this. Let's give you a round of applause for that, because I want people to really think this through of what you just told them. All the time we have people that come to us and they don't have huge marketing budgets. And they're like, well, how can I, what's the freemium model, right? How do I do this for free? Well, that is a phenomenal way to go and look and see who these other people, who are following these other people, and then you follow them, and then you can communicate with these people because you can message them,
right.
and that's really phenomenal. In fact, I've got a story too about that for some of our clientele and our listeners that are detail companies. There's this really high-end detail company out of, I believe it's Utah, and what they do is they go around and they give these influencers a free detailing of their cars, and they make them look phenomenal. And this company is not cheap. They are expensive, but they do a phenomenal job. And so they go and do these free details for these influencers, and then the influencers share it out to all of their people, all of their followers. And this guy is so busy. He's been having to hire people on to keep the company growing and be able to keep up with the demand that is coming just from these influencers. So he's giving one away for free, but he's getting, tons of other jobs because these influencers have so many people they're promoting it to.
Yeah. So let's say maybe he charges $300 to $500, right? To detail, a high-end vehicle.
Right.
So he gave away $300 to $500. But if he was to approach that person and say, hey, I want to pay you to promote my product, they probably would have charged him thousands, if not $10,000.
Yes. A lot of them. Oh, it's very expensive. It's hilarious.
Yeah, in fact, I was trying to remember. I think it was Kylie Kardashian. I think she charges us $1 million for one post on her social media site. $1 million.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, I don't know if everybody else feels this way, but it's just like these people have done nothing in their life. They've done nothing. They were born into the right family, right? They were born into the right family that had a TV show, and now they can charge $1 million for a single promotion on their social media. It's insane.
Yeah. All right, so that's all I've got for Instagram, Trevor. What's the next platform we're talking about?
All right, well, we gave you 2 examples of social media platforms that work and the things that you can do with them. Now I want to talk about TikTok. And I'm not going to talk about TikTok because it works. Actually, quite the opposite. I want to talk about TikTok because it really doesn't work for a lot of businesses. Gary Vaynerchuk, But
I look so cute dancing.
Oh, but I look so cute dancing. What? Doing what? Yeah. No, trust me. Gary Vaynerchuk has been promoting TikTok for years. He's been talking about how it's the next big platform. You got to get on there for business. And I can see how for some businesses it could work. But here's the thing about TikTok. I think unless you're like a dancing dentist, right? You're getting on there and you're doing your dance moves and everybody thinks you're super hot or something like that. It's really probably not going to bring you much actual business. In fact, something to understand about TikTok is the U.S. is actually looking at banning it right now. It is a Chinese-owned app, and their servers are over in China, and they're being investigated because the U.S. is claiming that there's, stealing data from all of these Americans over here, and who knows what they're doing with it over there. And so they're actually looking at banning TikTok. So I wouldn't jump on the TikTok bandwagon necessarily. It's very rare that it's going to be a good platform for very many companies. So I just want to throw that one in there. The reason we actually did Facebook, Instagram, and then TikTok is we wanted to give you a couple of good ones, and then we wanted to show you an example of a bad one that honestly I just don't see most of our listeners and clientele going after. So sorry, Gary, I know you're the man and you've got a ton of followers out there and people listen to what you say, but I would, challenge that. How are these people making money on TikTok and promoting on TikTok? So I would definitely say it's not going to work for most. All right, well, we have definitely exceeded our time frame. Troy, we are at 20 minutes. Sorry, guys, I know we're trying to keep these down to about 15 minutes, but this was full of good information. Troy had a lot of good information for you guys today. So let's get on to homework. What your guys' homework this week is I want you to pick one platform, because it can be very overwhelming. There's no way, if you try to go out and you try to set up all of these platforms and you're trying to post to all these platforms and follow, each one has its own and different style and what's requirements, algorithms, all of that. So if you're trying to manage that on your own, you're going to hate yourself. You're going to hate social media. You are going to burn out really fast. So we want you to just go and pick one platform. And here's the thing is, set up your account. But then what I want you to do is I really want you to go out and start following your competitors. Find your competitors on this platform, follow them, and start watching to see what they're doing in having success. Because there's a lot of people out there doing a really good job with social media. One pest control company comes to mind here in the Valley. In fact, they're in like Arizona, Colorado, Las Vegas. They're in a couple different states, and they're doing really well and crushing it on social media. And they run, all sorts of like specials through it. They run competitions through it. You can win things through it. All sorts of fun things. They're doing a great job, but it's a lot of work. And you'll see that what they're doing can be very overwhelming if you're doing it on your own. So again, pick one platform for the homework this week. Go follow your competitors. See what they're doing and see if this is a platform. Do your research before just saying, hey, I'm going to dive all into Instagram. Because I can tell you personally, it is a ton of work. We're at like 7,500 followers, and we've built that over less than a year. But it's a lot of work. We put a lot of time, energy, and effort into it, and we focus hardcore into it. And for us, it's a long-term strategy. It is not something, in fact, we utilize it a lot just to promote the podcast that we're doing. Instead of just promoting SoTellUs, our business, we're really promoting the podcast and using it as a platform to share our message in helping businesses versus trying to sell our services. So before you go and you say, I'm going all in on this social media platform, get on there, follow your competitors, see what they're doing, see the success that they're having, and then determine, is this the right platform? Because maybe Facebook's going to be the better platform for you, or maybe Instagram, or maybe LinkedIn or Twitter, Snapchat, one of these other ones, Pinterest, YouTube. But pick one of these platforms, follow your competitors, and see what they're doing, and then determine if it's right for you guys. That's this week's homework. All right, guys. Well, we have had a really fun time with you guys on SoTellUs Time. Please like, share, subscribe, get this out to your friends and family. Let's help all business owners grow together, especially during these crazy times. We hope your family is safe and sound and healthy. We will see you guys on the next episode of SoTellUs Time.